You started playing drums at what sort of age then?
About when I was 15 years old, 14, 15 years old. Some people say it's kind of late starting.
Yeah, yeah.
It was late starting, but what can you do? It just happened. I actually played guitar before because my dad had 2 guitars. He still has them, which are mine now. Hopefully, they're still there.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. He has this beautiful Ovation from the 70s.
Oh, right.
12-string, like
the
Jimmy
round
Page.
back thing and all.
Yeah,
Lovely.
And a 70s Epiphone. So I just always started just strumming, and my dad will play for me and will sing as well. So I was really into music my whole life, really.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, one of my first words that my dad said, it was tongue, and I was like, because I was like, tongue. It was like,
oh right,
it's tongue. But it was actually Pink Floyd's Dogs of War, I think. Dun.
That's amazing.
Dun. It was my favorite song back when I was 2 years old.
Your first word was like...
One of my first words, not my first word.
Okay, but it was a verbalization of the noise that you were hearing being made by Pink Floyd.
Like a lot of sounds and drums.
That's amazing. That's absolutely incredible. I envy you. So, sorry, to get back to that, you're saying that drums wasn't your first instrument then?
No, it was guitars.
It was
and
guitars.
I would just strum the guitar, thinking I was doing it right. My left hand would be like this.
Yeah.
Am I doing it right? No? Yes, maybe.
Yeah, just looking for a nod of approval. Yeah.
And suddenly, one day I remember I used to listen to a lot of Metallica, loads of it, and I was like this the whole time. My dad says like, "You know, your uncle has a studio." I was like, "Say what?" "Yeah, your uncle has like a professional studio."
Amazing.
I was like, "Oh, okay, well let's go then."
Yeah.
And he had this beautiful Premier Signia maple costume with this beautiful Sabian symbols.
Yeah.
And other symbols as well.
Yeah.
And I just sat down on it and it was like love at first sight.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I remember clearly. It was I think 10, 12. 14, 16, 22 by maybe 16, 18.
Yeah.
The Signia.
It was a big kit, like.
I was like, it was like, I really know how to play it. But then I just went to my uncles all the time, you know. Like,
yeah.
I have a new favorite uncle now.
I don't know you. You don't know me, but we're related. And
no, he knew me. He knew me. But it's just that you don't really know he's there until he's there.
Yeah, I got you.
He's my uncle. They call him Monkey.
Monkey.
El Mono.
All right.
And since that day, I just started going all the time. And when I was 16, I started going to the jam sessions. They would have jam sessions there every Thursday.
Yeah.
But the big kids, the big guys, they were always like, "Who's that little kid, man? Who's playing drums there?" And I would just go in and play drums with the guys.
Sure.
And by 10 o'clock, they will say like, "Okay, time for the kid to go home."
Really? Okay,
Yeah.
I got you.
Until when I was 18, everybody was like, call the guy. So I just actually started playing drums by jamming
Right.
with all the guys that were doing it back then in Peru,
Amazing.
All the jazz and pop guys.
So it was kind of a self-taught situation.
Always.
You were kind of learning on the gig, well, not playing the gig, but like.
My first drum kit was my sofa. And because my room was on the second floor.
Yeah.
It really had a boom.
Oh right, yeah, because you had the
and I was just always playing on the sofa, putting the metronome and playing with the sofa, and it was pretty cool until I bought myself my first drum kit.
What was your first kit? Do you remember?
Yes, a Pearl Export.
Pearl Export, yeah.
Pearl Export.
I think that's
everybody's.
Yeah, straight up. Well, funny enough, my first was a Premier. My first kit was because like the reason I played drums was because I had this picture of my older brother at home, and he was sitting behind this Premier drum kit, and he just looked so cool. And it was like, I was looking for an instrument. Both my parents were musical, and my dad had pushed me to playing piano, and it didn't really suit me. I didn't fit. So I saw this photograph of my older brother behind this drum kit, and he just looked really cool. Like that was it. It was all aesthetics.
I can show you a photo, a very vintage photo.
Yeah.
That has been around my family.
We're gonna have to get this. We'll have to cut this in here as well. This is an old photograph of you playing, is it? Or?
This is my dad playing a very old kid when he
was
a kid. Yeah.
That's incredible. Yeah, we'll have to show the camera. Like.
Yeah?
Oh,
Yeah, go on.
Here you go, Dad.
Hold on there. Oh wow.
That's old school. So do you know what year that was or anything?
I don't know. When my dad hates this photo, he's like, I used to be good at drums, and then your grandpa sold my drums and everything.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's still a little bit of bitterness about that.
No, he's fine now. He's an engineer.
Yeah.
He got over it. I'm pretty sure.
He's okay with
He's
it.
okay. He's fine.
He's
fine.
done his. Yeah, okay.
But he loves, man. He just loves that I play drums, and I'm a musician. And thanks to him, actually, I am where I am.
Yeah.
And I think that it was just in genetics, really. My grandpa once told me he played as well in a marching band. He's like, I remember him saying like, I'm so proud of myself. I used to play the triangle and the snare in the marching band.
Sure, yeah.
So I don't know, it's just really been there my whole life, and it's pretty amazing. Well, where was I? We started actually saying how I play drums, but I guess all of this has to make part of it.
But
right?
music is, I mean, I'm fascinated that drums wasn't your first instrument, and you still play a lot of other instruments now, don't you?
I try to get my hands on every instrument I can.
Yeah, I've had conversations with you where you've told me about this crazy contraption that you found. Like, you have a house full of random instruments at home.
Well, right now at home, what I have is a sitar, I have tablas, I have a balafon, I have a calabash, I have loads of drum kits. Well, that's in my little studio.
Sure.
I have synths, whatever I can. I just want to play. I have didgeridoo as well.
Yeah.
And bongos, congas, whatever I can, man. I just love music. I just love it.
Cote, what's a calabash?
Calabash it's a fruit from the calabash tree, which is used in Africa to not only create pots, but they use the ngoni for the kora.
Okay.
And when you hit it, it goes.
Okay, so it's like.
When you put it on, it looks like Darth Vader.
Okay, so it's a big bowl sort of looking thing.
Yeah, exactly. It's like
right,
a bowl.
okay.
So basically over there, they just let it dry.
Yeah.
Search for calabash. And you cut it in half, and that's where the ngoni goes. And,
how do you spell calabash?
Like it sounds, Calabash.
Calabash.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna have to look that up.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
And I swear to God, everybody thinks it's like the best thing ever, because just put a microphone inside and you go like this, and it sounds like a bass drum, and you go with this part of your fingers, it sounds clack, like a snare.
Okay. So it's like the original cajon or whatever. Like it predates the cajon, and that's sort of.
Even in Peru, they would play the
calabash,
the pumpkin, which is it's actually a pumpkin.
Sure.
They would play the pumpkin before the cajon.
That's funny. I know the cajon, for instance, it originates in Peru, doesn't it?
It does originate in Peru.
But originally the Peruvian style cajon, there's no kind of snares in it. There's no strings or wires or anything.
No.
It's played as a kind of an open box almost, isn't it? So.
Exactly. Like it was more really to make the sound of the djembe.
Yeah.
Try to
emulate
the sound of the djembe, emulate it.
Yeah.
In a way. Which is pretty beautiful, when Paco Lucia brought it on the 80s back to Spain, I think, if I'm not mistaken, when they put the snare at the bottom, it's just to imitate what they do with the guitar.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I always saw it as kind of to go along with the dancing, the metal heels or whatever. It's that sort of sharp sound or whatever. Maybe I interpreted it totally wrong, but I assumed it was something to do with that sort of flamenco approach or whatever.
Oh, with the zapateo.
Yeah.
In Peru we have zapateo as well, but it's more of an afro type of thing.
Right. Okay.
And it's awesome.
Yeah.
Zapateo peruano, very beautiful, very beautiful.
We're gonna have to get all of this written down in the description. Like, this is a minefield over here. Like, this is amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, so your first musical experience then with a kind of I suppose a group was those jam sessions that you spoke of.
Yes, definitely, by far. And for me it was just like, I'm actually playing with all the guys in Peru,
Yeah.
Back in the day I had no idea where they were, but after a while I was like, I play with him. I actually play with him.
Right. So the studio was kind of a center of all of these musicians, and they just get together and just cut loose, and it was.
And they would do not only recording for bands but jingles as well. So then after a while, when I was 17, I started. I wanted to work with my uncle. Wanted to be in that world, I mean, the only thing I really did was bring the hard drive up and down, but
it's something.
It's something. But then they taught me Pro Tools. They taught me how Pro Tools was used. They taught me about Macs. They taught me about computers. I was 17 years old, and I was reading all these manuals and with big, would you say, digital desks. And it's
like
just,
the 001s and 002s.
Yeah, exactly. And the first that they came out, and it's like it was a whole other world. Now I have a Focusrite and I can record in my studio.
You can just do whatever you want, whenever you want.
I have a Focusrite, a microphone, and
I remember the initial Pro Tools book, because my dad's he's a musician as well, and he got I can't remember what he got. There was like an early version of Pro Tools anyway, and the actual manual was like. It was. You should have probably split it up into different sort of compendiums, like different sort of episodes almost, or volumes is the word.
I remember my friend Carlo, sound engineer, is like, "How do you use that?" And he just turned around and threw me a Pro Tools book. It's like,
yeah.
Read that. It's like,
it weighs as much as most snare drums would or whatever. You know?
I know.
Yeah.
The stone snare drum you told me about.
Yeah,
Definitely.
exactly. That concrete snare drum, madness. So you, as I said, you played with or as you said, you played with those musicians in a jam situation. What was the first sort of structured musical environment? Do you remember like the first band that you had?
Yeah, I used to play a lot, believe it or not, a lot of heavy metal and rock and roll and even punk.
Really? Yeah.
My first gig was a punk gig in a old school stadium type of environment. And I didn't know, but I was playing for like 2,000 people.
You serious?
Yeah. And my dad was way at the back going like this.
How did you not know that? How did you not know?
Well, because they told me there's a gig, you know. So yeah, sure, let's go do the gig.
Oh, sorry. Okay,
And,
I thought like you didn't know until you were on stage.
Exactly. So
Okay,
I was on
right.
stage and I was like, right. Okay, well, let's just do it. You know, what can you do?
You're there now. You're not going to walk away going, no, there's too
no.
many people. I'm out of here. Yeah.
And I mean, obviously there wasn't. I mean, it was half of the capacity, I think, when we were playing.
Yeah.
It was kind of a new band, so these guys were already kind of established.
Okay.
And then somehow just people started calling me from punk bands and rock and roll bands, and I ended up in an Iron Maiden tribute band. I know every single CD of Iron Maiden, from Iron Maiden to Fear of the Dark. Every single song.
This is a dirty past. It's
great. It's great.
Like an expose or something like that.
No, it's great. And then I played as well in a Judas Priest tribute band.
You serious? Yeah.
Yeah, and I used to be very fast in double pedal. Like I was like very, very fast.
It's forgive me, and I don't mean to laugh, and this is incredible.
Please laugh.
My experience of Cote in here is Cote is one of those people who comes down and has this incredibly kind of delicate touch and an awareness of sound. I mean, I know you as a kind of a jazz or maybe a kind of a funk drummer. Like that's my experience of you. So I assumed, you know, that was your kind of grounding in drums. You know,
Sure, people change.
Yeah, people change. Exactly that. Yeah. That's amazing. I never knew that.
Well, you know.
Judas Priest tribute band.
Judas Priest. My friend would actually have the whole. What's the name of the guy?
You'll know.
Halford.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
He would have the. Hopefully, I said it right. If I'm not, if I didn't, I'm very sorry. He just like, and he actually had the scream. You know, the wow. The whole thing, and we would do the whole show, and we did one tour. I remember once, and it was pretty fun. And when I said tours, I would go to a city and come back.
Yeah, okay, yeah, no, I get that.
But it was fun. It was fun, you know. There's a lot of things I learned from that. You know, when I went then to the first university, my first teacher ever.
Sure.
He was like, "How are you so fast on my drum pedal or technique?" I was
yeah.
I don't know. I was playing heavy metal.
Yeah.
So he kind of developed a little bit my technique, and you know, his name was Bob Wyatt. Best teacher ever.
Bob Wyatt.
Bob Wyatt. Check him out. He has the swingest swing feel ever.
Really? Yeah. Where was that where were you learning from him?
In Brazil.
In Brazil. Okay, cool.
Yeah. And Bob Wyatt, BOBWYATT. Please check him out because he's such a good, not only teacher, friend, advisor, you know, mind field, just everything. Everything. And the guy, you know, he has videos. They're same thing, you know. He just talks about like how to play in 7 coming from a Greek rhythm or things like this. It's beautiful.
So very unorthodox sort of
approaches
and stuff.
He played with Chet Baker and Turner Road with Maynard Ferguson.
Wow.
And he's from Baltimore, so
Baltimore, Maryland.
Yeah, he just grabbed my brain, man. He just took out my brain, washed it, put it back in again.
Yeah.
That's literally what happened.
That's incredible, like.
So my whole metal drumming just went like.
It's but I mean, you can apply the same sort of techniques, just much quieter.
Exactly.
Did you have any concept of technique when you were playing metal? Was it just I have to try and play this as quickly as possible? Were you kind of working on it? Did you like go home and practice a specific way?
Method? Yeah, I did. I tried to see, you know. Well, back in the day, you really didn't have video. Back in the day, like if I was old, I mean, you know, we didn't really have videos or anything. But I would buy loads of videos.
Sure.
You know, I will go to well, actually, we didn't have music stores.
Really, yeah.
Well, we have over there, and this is gonna amaze a lot of people. I'm pretty sure. We have this, you know, how you call it, shopping center.
Yeah.
A shopping center.
Yeah.
Huge shopping center over there called Polvos Azules, which means blue powder. right?
Blue
has
powder.
nothing to do with the, Peruvian powder.
Okay.
And what happens is that in that place, everything is a copy. Everything you get there, CDs, movies, everything is copied.
Right.
And they sell it to you for like less than half of the price.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
amazing. So over there, you can just buy. I remember buying Greg Bisonet videos. What else? Mark Portnoy videos. Every videos I had, and they would explain Dave Weckl videos.
Right, right, right.
And they would just explain. I would sit down and just do it.
Yeah.
And try and play it.
That's incredible, yeah.
Yeah.
So you were getting like counterfeit DVDs or videos or whatever.
Yes, I'm sorry, Dave Weckl, Mark Portnoy, everybody. We have no other choice.
Snap!
We have no other choice. I swear I'll send you the money when I get it.
I'm sure it's all on YouTube nowadays anyway, so like it's...
Oh yeah,
you
I'm
know,
still sorry.
Yeah, we are, sorry. Whatever, man.
Back in the what can you do? You're in the middle of Peru, man. You can't really get anything until somebody comes. It's like, I got a copy of the Dave Weckl CD. And it's like, give it to me.
Yeah, too right. And like I remember when I was younger, you'd always seek out, like someone would tell you, oh man, I got this amazing, like, because I remember there was a video, I can't remember what it was specifically, but it was Omar Hakim, and he was repping some electronic drums, and like a friend of mine had like somehow managed to find it on the internet, and so we all went over to his house, because like the concept of email when you're young is almost non-existent, like, you have to go to that computer, that's where you saw it, like.
Yeah.
So we all went over, and there was like 5 of us, not all of us drummers, I think like 3 drummers and a couple of other guys.
And 2 musicians.
Yeah, well, musicians, yeah. And we just sat there, we just watched this like, oh my God, oh man, that's real drumming there, that's real music, yeah. Like convincing ourselves that this was like literally the pinnacle of instrumentalism, of whatever, anyway. But I remember that buzz, that excitement of finding this thing that you had no access to otherwise, like.
And I was having like, when will I get to that level?
Yeah.
When we're gonna be able to play that? But now I look back and I'm like, I actually don't want to play that.
Yeah.
For some things.
I suppose you become more aware of who you are and how you play and so on as you go forward, and what you want to do, but maybe changes over time and so on.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What was your first drum kit?
It was that Premiere, yeah. It was a Premiere APK, and it was like, it was this beautiful white kit. It was power toms, so like 12 by 10, 13 by 11, like. Oh yeah, absolutely. Like all you'd want to do is play like that Phil Collins fill over and over again. I don't think I played anything but that for the first 3 years, maybe, or that sort of thing, I can't remember even what I was listening to back then. I think I might have been listening to a lot of Red Hot Chili Peppers or something like that.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to remember, like there was a specific reason that kit was the one I wanted. I think it was just probably that picture of my brother with the Premiere logo on the front. But like I think at that point, I didn't know there were other drums. I just saw this and it's like, no, it's Premiere that make the drums, I didn't think, there's Mapex, DW, Pearl, whatever. I didn't even assume that there was anything else. If it wasn't a Premiere, obviously it wasn't a drum kit, like, so how are you meant to play anything else? Like that was my sort of, I suppose, single-minded or simple-minded approach to it.
You wanted me to tell you the story of how I got my first drum kit.
I do, yeah. I want you to, like, this is something I heard just there a few minutes ago, and I'd like for Cote to repeat it for us all, because I think it's wonderful.
Okay, well, I mean, as you know, I don't look Peruvian, Yeah. And I was lucky enough that I actually did 3 or 4 TV ads, which you will never find online, because I made sure of that.
You made sure, did you?
No, I'm kidding.
We're gonna search that out. We're gonna search
for it. Please
Yeah,
do.
yeah.
But I got paid a good amount, and I bought my friend's drum kit, which he was a drummer, and then he became a guitar player. He's an amazing guitar player, and he sold. I have no idea what was Pearl or what was what. So I just bought whatever had cymbals and drums and just But I was always just searching for the drum kit, always looking at magazines. It's just like this fascination for drums. I don't know how it built up in my head. I don't know how it happened, but I just loved it.
Yeah.
From the first time I saw a drum kit, I just loved it. I had to play more and more and more and more. But and that's fascination still going on, but more with instruments from the world, more than, and still drum kits, or if it's metal, if it's what type of wood, everything. For me, it's just like playing Lego.
You're looking for that little that piece or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like you're trying to make whatever you're trying to make a Lego, and it's just that one piece that you need.
Exactly. And so with the money from the TV ads, I got to buy my first drum kit.
Tell us why you got those TV ads, Cote.
Because I'm redheaded.
Because you're redheaded. So
Literally, that's what
the
happened.
directors down in Peru decided they needed a redheaded Peruvian.
Exactly.
And-
And they're like, where can we find that? Oh.
There's one.
There's
Let's
one.
use that one.
Yeah. It was actually. It's not even. I'm not making it up. They really wanted a redheaded on the
Yeah.
TV ads.
That's
You know?
amazing. Yeah.
I remember one was for a university, one was for a type of drink, like a juice.
Yeah.
The other one was for chewing gum.
Mm.
That was very embarrassing, I remember.
Really, yeah.
They made me use huge diapers on the street.
We're gonna do a little bit of digging, and we're gonna try and find these adverts, and we're gonna leave the links just down in the description.
Actually, I've tried to find them, and there's no.
You can't find them at all.
I can't find them. No,
Yeah,
no,
you're
no.
just saying that.
No, really.
Yeah?
Really. I guess there's some type of legal thing that they can go out or. I don't know.
Okay.
But I've tried to really. I have no embarrassment. Like, whatever.
Yeah, all right, okay.
But it was pretty funny moments. Met lots of great people, you know. And
Yeah.
anyways, you know, embarrassing or not, that actually got me to get my drum kits.
There you are, exactly.
So that's my pride. Getting my drums together, getting be able to practice, because I used to live with my grandparents. I was able to practice all the time.
Sure.
And just practicing. I remember putting one CD I practiced a lot back then before going to study to Brazil was Dream Theater, Scenes from Memory,
Yeah.
Part 1.
Great album.
Yeah.
Great album.
Ticks a box over there.
At that
Anyway.
age, you know, you're like,
Yeah, when it came out, I remember I was like, "Dang, what just happened?" You know, it sounded like a train or something.
But it was probably so different from what you'd normally hear on the radio and so on as well, wasn't it? Like.
Yeah, and I have to say, and this has nothing to do with me actually having the Sabian thingy, but when I heard Mike Portnoy play those cymbals, I just knew.
You
for
just
some
knew,
reason.
like.
I really have nothing to do with, you know, I always loved Sabian.
Yeah.
Since that point in my life, since I'm 17.
I think I'm the same in that I always recognize, like, that logo is so synonymous with the drummers that I used to listen. Like, as I said, Chad Smith and Mike Portnoy, obviously they would have been kind of hand in hand Sabian artists for many a year, but specifically it was the Chili Peppers, and I wanted that exact symbol. Like, I remember the first sort of symbol that I really took pride in owning was Sabian AA Rock Ride. I think it was like in 21-inch Rock Ride.
Mm-hmm.
Which was in brilliant finish, and that was Chad Smith's sort of signature symbol. And then he had a 19.5-inch crash. I don't know if you remember that at all, but I remember I went and got that crash symbol as well. I had to have that, like, because that was the sound. That was, you know, that was what I recognized.
Yeah.
And you'd hit it, and it was huge. And I previously didn't have loud cymbals at all, like,
Yeah.
but this thing was so loud. It was either 19.5 or 18.5. I can't remember what it was, but it was just this sort of irregular size, totally unique. And obviously, I had little Chad Smith underside, you know, where they had the little signatures on the underside.
Yeah.
That was kind of like dreams coming true sort of scenario back then, you know. It was amazing. Yeah, it was.